All right, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these jurisdiction scenarios. So the first one, Mr. Smith received a speeding ticket issued by the new speeding cameras. He feels that the camera was inaccurate. He is taking his case to court. So which level of government, state or federal? There is no reference to this being a national highway or anything like that, so we can safely assume that it is state. The civil or criminal case, even though it is a minor violation of the criminal code, it is a violation of the criminal code nonetheless, so we would go with criminal. And this would be appellate because it appears as though Mr. Smith is trying to appeal a previous conviction related to these speed cameras. Number 2, a woman from Newcastle was taken into custody for assaulting her boyfriend. She was charged with assault in the second degree. Now, whenever somebody is charged, we're going to be looking at criminal. So that is a criminal code violation. There's nothing that would indicate that it is a federal crime. So we'll go ahead and say state. And this is original because it is the first time that this woman has been tried for this crime. It is not part of the appellate process. Number 3, 2 people were convicted of killing an Ellesmere resident. The defendants claimed that their due process rights were violated and appealed to the next court. Well, first of all, we see the word appealed. Let's go to that third box and put appellate. That is definitely an appellate court. Because it has to do with a murder trial, we're going to go ahead and say that that is criminal. And there's no indication this is a federal crime, so we'll go ahead and indicate that that is a state violation. The next one. A man from Sussex County was convicted and given the death penalty for the felony murder of 23 individuals. Yikes, okay. His case was automatically appealed to this court. Once again, appealed. So we'll go ahead and say appellate. This is, once again, criminal. And once again, this is going to be a state crime because there is no indication that this falls under federal jurisdiction. The next one. A local restaurant caught a man trying to buy a meal with fake $20 bills. The man was arrested and charged with counterfeiting. First question, federal or state? This is a federal offense because it has to do with currency and the fraud related to it. This is a criminal offense that is tried by the federal government, and this would be original jurisdiction. The next one. The state of Delaware sued Pennsylvania over the soil erosion caused by development along the Delaware River. Delaware claimed there was an economic and environmental impact from the pollution. So because this involves 2 different states and a lawsuit, this would be federal. This is going to be our first civil trial because it's going to involve a lawsuit and not the violation of a federal or state crime. And then this, once again, will be original jurisdiction. Next one up is Walmart was sued for violating labor laws regarding mandatory breaks and minimum wage laws. So this is going to be, by all intents and purposes, it looks like it is being filed in a state court because it doesn't indicate that there's multiple locations of a Walmart. Though if it wasn't across state lines, it would become federal. This is a civil suit because it is a lawsuit rather than a violation necessarily of a criminal code. And this would be original jurisdiction. The next one. The Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, imposed a fine on a Newcastle County company for violating emission regulations. The company vehemently disagrees with the fine and is taking it to court. So this is a civil matter. It deals with a fine. And it is dealing with what appears to be a suit between 2 parties. This is an appellate decision because they are appealing a decision, and it deals with the federal government because it is the EPA, which is a federal organization. The next one, John sued Cindy for stealing his backpack from the cafeteria. Seems like a bit of a frivolous lawsuit, but it is a state suit, nothing to do with the federal government. It is a civil suit because there is no criminal code that is being enforced. Is theft of a backpack a criminal offense? Sure, but it doesn't appear that that is what's happening in this particular case. And it is original jurisdiction. So that is not a case of Cindy trying to appeal an original suit against her. The next one, a man was convicted of copyright infringement for publishing a book called The Hunger Games. He appealed his conviction of the felony to the next highest court. So, whenever we see felony, we can already assume that it is going to be criminal. Copyright infringement is a federal offense, so that will fall under federal. And of course, he is appealing, so this is an appellate court. And the next one. A German foreign minister brought a lawsuit against the U.S. during World War I. This is going to be federal because it involves a suit against the United States. It is going to be a civil case because it is a lawsuit rather than a violation of U.S. law. And it is original jurisdiction. Next, a student refused to say the Pledge of Allegiance. He claimed it violated his rights. He was taken to the office for insubordination. His parents hired a lawyer and claimed the schools had no right to force him to say the pledge. Now, this one's a little bit interesting because it is going to be a civil suit. It's going to be original jurisdiction, but it could technically be put into a federal or state court depending on where it's filed. So it really doesn't matter, federal or state. There's not a huge differentiation there. The next one. A couple was charged with murder in Dewey Beach. They requested a jury trial. So this is going to be criminal because it is a murder case. It's going to be original jurisdiction because this is not an appeal. And it is going to be state because it is a violation of state law, not federal law. Next one. Lewis was caught smoking marijuana outside the Federal Treasury building. This is going to be criminal because the smoking of marijuana was a violation of criminal code. It's original jurisdiction. This is not an appeal. And because it was right outside the Federal Treasury building, it becomes a federal offense, which means it is subject to harsher penalties. Next, Sally illegally downloaded a mixtape from an unlicensed website. So this is a violation of copyright, so it is federal, it is criminal, and it is original jurisdiction. Next, a man in New Jersey knitted during the fishing season. This is against New Jersey law. Now, of course, this is against no law. It's just an example, but if there was ever a state, it's New Jersey. So it is going to be a criminal offense, apparently. It is a state offense, and it's original jurisdiction. Next one, O.J. Simpson was charged with the murder of his ex-wife. This is a state case. In the particular instance of O.J. Simpson, it deals with the state of California. It is going to be a criminal case, and it is original jurisdiction. And the next one, O.J. Simpson was sued for the wrongful death of his ex-wife by her family. So this is wrongful death, so it's civil, it's original, and it is, once again, state jurisdiction. And then the final one, a woman in Arizona cut down an endangered saguaro cactus. This would be technically a violation of federal criminal code because it is a federally endangered species and it would be original jurisdiction. So if you have any questions about any of those, please don't hesitate to ask. And then the reflection, what is meant by the term jurisdiction and what are the differences between original and appellate jurisdiction? Jurisdiction simply means where the court case is tried. So is it tried in a state? Is it tried in federal court? Is it tried for the first time in an original court? Or is it tried in some sort of appellate court? And then the difference between original and appellate is the original is the first time that a court has heard this particular case. And appellate is somebody is appealing, somebody is finding some sort of issue with the original verdict, with the original case. So those are the major differences. If you have any questions, please let me know.